Hello and welcome to this Unreal Engine tutorial. Today I'm going to be counting down 20 tips that make Unreal Engine easy. Ever wanted to add footprints, snow tracks, or water to your project? Go to the marketplace and download Interactive World. It's free. We'll then go to our project. In the plugins, enable Interactive World. We can then go down to our engine, and under plugins, you'll find Interactive World content. Here you can go to maps and open the L demo map. Now we can test it out. So you'll see this effect on the floor and then pretty realistic snow footprints. We'll try out the mud as well. And then lastly, the water. This hasn't been updated to Unreal Engine 5.4 yet, but you can migrate the files across. You just have to make a UE 5.3 project. Download the Niagara UI Renderer plugin from the marketplace. It's free. Then go to Edit Plugins and search for Niagara UI Renderer. Enable that plugin. You'll now be able to make a widget just like this. I've just added a button. But the cool thing here is you can now add Niagara system widgets. And these will be in your menu. And then when I click, so I downloaded this modular arc from Quixel Bridge, but when I drop it into my game and hit play, you'll see I just go straight through it. So what we need to do here is locate it, open it up, and then all you have to do is scroll down the details and under collision complexity, change this to use complex collision as simple. Now, if I save that and I hit play, see, I can't go through there, but I can go under it, and it's that simple. Suffering from lag? Not a problem. All you have to do is go to your project settings and search Lumen. Here you can change the dynamic global illumination method to screen space and the reflection method to screen space. You can also search for shadow maps and change shadow map method from virtual shadow map to shadow map. If you're using Nanite, then you need to keep using virtual shadow maps, I'm afraid. But that will speed up your computer a lot. Just make sure that you re-enable this when you're packaging your game or rendering your animation. Want to make a fade to black transition in Unreal Engine? Here's how. To make a new user interface widget blueprint, just open that up, grab a canvas panel, and then grab an image. We'll make sure the image fills the entire panel, and then I'm going to change the color to black, and then I'm going to change the opacity to 0, because we're going to fade this in. Now I'm going to come down to animations, and make a new animation. And then with this animation selected, I'm going to add image 0 to it, which is that image there. I'm then going to click the plus and search for opacity, color and opacity, and then we're going to just move that along, open up this drop down and put in 1. So you see we've now got this nice fade. I'm going to go over to the graph, and out of event construct, I'm going to play animation, and we need to just grab that animation, get it, and plug it in there. I'm then going to make a new actor blueprint. I'm going to add a collision box. I'm going to right click, add event on component begin overlap, and here I'm going to create widget, select that new widget blueprint that we just made, and then add to viewport. And there you go. So if I drop in our new blueprint, then just going to scale that up, hit play, and if we walk into here, fade to black. Here's a really handy shortcut for you. Just hold Control and then with the middle mouse wheel, click that, and if you pull it up, you'll go to the top view. If you pull it down, you'll go to the bottom, left, right. Without holding Control, hit the middle mouse button, and that lets you measure distances. And then just click if you want to go back to perspective. So let's say I'm arranging assets in my scene. It can take ages to arrange them all to hit the floor. So instead you can just hit end and they'll snap to the floor. So if I move this one over here, end snaps it on top like that. There's a really easy way to blend materials together that no one really knows about, but you just have to come up to Quixel Bridge. I'm going to add this one to my project. Okay, and now I'll find another material. So then with this material selected, and you also have to have the material instance of the one in your project selected, you can then click on these lines, open up the settings, and then hit create blend material. So you're now going to have a blend material here. Open that up, And actually I'm just straight away, I'm going to come to my modeling tools and I'm going to add a rectangle. I'm going to increase the width and the depth. And I'm also going to increase the subdivisions. I can then come to my blend material folder and then just drag that on top. I'm then going to come to mesh paint, click on the paint, and look, here's our other material. And it really is that easy. If you look for Quixel here in the marketplace, you'll find all these free assets and collections that you can add to your project. And these are often higher quality than the ones actually in Quixel Bridge. The easiest way to make things move in the wind in Unreal Engine is to make a material, open it up, right click and search for simple grass wind. Then right click on each of these and promote them to parameters. I'm going to set the value of each of these to be 0.2. I'm then going to get a constant 3 vector and plug that into additional WPO, and then just plug this into world position offset. Right click and create a material instance. You can then chuck that onto the curtain and look at it move. So you can open that up and you can increase all of these, and things start to get a bit funny when you increase them too high. But how easy is that? And you can do that to your plants, to anything that's going to be moving in the wind. How do you make a 3D sound in Unreal Engine? Right click on the sound you want and you're going to create cue. Okay, open that cue up and we're going to get an attenuation node. We're going to right click and we're going to get under audio sound attenuation. So make that. So now that we've got that, we could just drop that onto our attenuation settings, close this down. If you drop in your cue, you'll see it gets quieter the further away I get from it. If your project's lagging, there are a few ways to check why. You can hold Shift, Control and Comma to open up this window, which will tell you how much processing power is being used by each element. This will help you identify particularly large textures or high poly models in your scene. You can also type stat unit graph, which will bring up this window and it will show you this graph. Things are obviously quite good in my empty level, but this can be very handy. Another way is to just enable show stats. Do you want to quickly create a realistic floor in Unreal Engine? Here's how. So I'm going to go up to Quixel Bridge and I'm just going to add a surface. I'm going to add this desert outback ground. So I've imported that into my project. Now I'll come up to the modeling tools and create a rectangle. Place that there, bring it up, and then I'm going to increase the size of that. I hit accept. Now I will remesh it. So come to mesh and click remesh, then hit accept. Now go to deform and choose displace. So that already looked quite cool, but we're going to choose texture 2D map under displacement. And then if I just open up my content browser, I'll show you in my Megascans folder. This is the Quixel Bridge material, and we can just use this green texture to drag that onto our displacement map. And now you can see that it's displacing it in the same way as this material. So if we just drag on the material as well, you can click accept, and there you go. It's changed the floor into a bumpy surface. Do you want access to high quality free water materials? Here's how. Go to the marketplace and find rural Australia, and then download that and add it to your project. Once that's added to your project, you'll have this rural Australia folder. If we go into maps and just open this up, you'll see this really awesome water material. This also comes with these birds. I get an error when I open this, but not to worry. Just make a new level, we'll choose basic, and now I can search in my content for water, and you've got these different options. So that's what this one looks like. And then they also have a lake and an ocean. How cool is that? If I want to add the birds, just drag those in as well. The easiest way to make a loading screen for your game is to go to Async loading screen and install the plugin. It's free. We can then go to our plugins and search for loading screen and just enable the Async loading screen. Now, no code is required here. All you have to do is go to your project settings and find under Game the Async Loading Screen tab. Here, under Movie Path, all you have to do is specify the name of a sequence you want the engine to use as your loading screen. As long as that sequence is inside your Movies folder, then if you hit play, it will make a loading screen ready for your game. So I have some Quixel Bridge assets in my scene, and I want to know if Nanite is enabled on them. Come up to Lit, and then Nanite Visualization, and you can choose the mark. So no, Nanite is not enabled on these. That means I just have to locate them in my content drawer, right click, and select Nanite. So you can now see that this one is showing up green because Nanite is enabled. You can do the same thing with Lumen. So your vault might look something like this, but what you might not realize is this little number here is how many gigabytes of data this is using. And once you've added something to a project, you don't really need it to be in the vault anymore. What you can do is come down here, click on that, and remove local content. That lets this number decrease, and we save some room on our computer. Want some free animations that are super simple to add to your game? Here's how. Go to Mixamo and choose an animation. I'm going to choose this defeated animation. Then just hit download. Now some of the tutorials on this are out of date because all you need to do from here, grab that defeated animation, drop it in, tick import animations, and then import all. We can now chuck our defeated animation into the scene, hit play, and there he is, an angry giant. So I've arranged these two assets here, but they're separate. So if I want them to be merged together, I have to select both, come to Actor, and then choose Merge Actor, and then Merge. And then you can just drag them back in, and now they're stuck together. To make the sun more realistic in Unreal Engine, you need to add a post-process volume. We're then going to go to Bloom and enable Method and change Standard to Convolution. Now we can come down to Lens Flare and enable the lens flare. Look at that. You can also type in infinite bounds and enable infinite extent unbound. This will mean that your post-process volume is enabled across the entire map. And that's it guys, that was 20 tips that make Unreal Engine easy. Follow for more.